Welcome to all the viewers of Banyan Minds and all those who are watching this interview just now live, or maybe you're going to watch it a little later on, because we can totally understand that, it's Navratri time, and after 2 years, such great celebrations are happening. But nevertheless, wishing you all a very, very Shubha Navratri. And today is the fifth day of Navratri, the Lalita Panchami, an extremely auspicious occasion. So we have also explained about what Panchami is and all that in our past videos. And today it's going to be travel time. And after 2 years, people are getting to move out of their house, and enjoy with their family. So we thought that, why not focus on travel, and especially the travel, when it comes to a woman of the house, the homemaker, the professional. I mean, when she feels like traveling, what does she actually feel, and what does she actually want to do, and what are her expectations from, traveling outside. So we are having a fabulous person over here today. She's into travel for last 10 years now. So she established a company by the name of Relive, and she calls it a travel shoppy. There are various categories in her company, where you can select your choices of travel. So we welcome Manisha Khemani, who is the founder and the MD of Relive a Travel Shoppy. And she is going to take us through a lot of experiences she had when she got into this venture. And there are a lot of feedbacks she has got from people, especially women, when they have traveled with her. Okay, she makes customized packages for people who want to travel. There are group travels also which are available, and there is a plethora. I mean, there is a plethora of choices which you have with her, like, traveling to the sanctuaries, traveling abroad, traveling to historical places, traveling to traveling across country to some exotic destinations. So Manisha, welcome to Banyan Minds, and wish you a very, very Shubha Navratri. Manisha, I would like first you to talk to the audience about how you got into traveling. Okay, what
Yeah.
made you start this company, and then how did it go about?
Okay. Thank you, Mayura, for a lovely introduction. I'm very happy to know, the way you actually told about me. It was like really amazing, and yes, I feel proud about myself. First thing, so thank you so much. Um, Sabhi ko Shubh Navratri. And to start with, today we have the fifth day of Navratri, and so we are celebrating Mata, Skand Mata Devi. Okay, so that's how we are, getting our power, prosperity, and success from her. So that's how it is told, and we are celebrating that. Yes, Nari Shakti again. So that's what the power all belongs to. Yes. I also derive power from travel. Okay, now I will explain you how. But let me start with the question: is what is travel? Okay, so if I say just going from your home even to the market is called travel. It's like travel is getting out of your zone, or your place where you live, okay, or the place where you have established your office or something like that. So travel is something which you go and explore, right? So if I just give an example for a lady who is like at home taking care of the home chores, so just traveling to VT, taking up a trick ticket, okay. Even we have apps now which help us to book the tickets faster. So these kind of usage of maps also in that case also helps you to reach to a destination, and this is a part of travel. So travel is very simple, leaving your home and going to some other place. It's that way. But to tell you, we have a lot of experiences within the travel. Okay. So to start with, first thing we learn when we travel. we are happy when we travel. Okay, and we also experience culture, we also experience other people, okay, how they behave. That is how the whole travel experience or the moments which we capture for ourselves. Okay, so yes, I am actually my target audience as of today is all ladies, and I know everybody loves to travel. So here we are for you to tell you how you should travel and why you should travel. So let me start with, as Mayura has already introduced me. Okay, so I would also like to tell you that I was never into that profession earlier. Okay, but this is something was very close to my heart because I was always a person who would like to explore. Okay, so that's how I learned travel, and I went ahead with the travel industry, and it's a very vibrant industry. Okay, just to give you a background about it, that even if you book one room, okay, into one of the hotels, at least 10 of the people who are like in the chain of travel get their bread and butter. So it's that a vibrant industry, and that's where I'm coming from. Okay, so it's like for I have certain things to tell you about why you should travel, okay? And also, as a lady, why it is important for you to travel. So, as I told you, when we go out, okay, as a lady, when we think, we want to travel, the only thing we think of is let's go with our family, okay? But there are other ways also to travel, okay? That not just for shopping or just for working, it is for your me time as well, okay? So when you travel, you leave your place, okay, and try to go to another place where you make the other place very beautiful, okay? You in turn experience the beauty of the nature, and in turn you also get lot of experience on that. Then secondly, when we travel, we also get to know the other cultures and the traditions around us. So now, just to give an example, we are such a huge country, okay, but I'm sure every state is celebrating Navratri in their own ways, okay. So one state might place Garba, the other state might have some other ritual coming up, or they will be having elaborated pujas which will be there. Okay, so and there are different type of prasads or sweets which are made so that the people enjoy and meet each other. So this is the kind of festivity which you experience. Okay, other than that, you also go to different places where you see, where you hear, okay, how the stories are, how the whole place developed. So this is the kind of experience which you get when you travel. Second, another thing to go for is travel is to, I mean, it gives you something which is knowledge. Okay, sitting here, you might not get that kind of a knowledge, but even if you see one travel video, you will come to know something about the place you're looking at. So that's again a learning which is added in your life. Yes, and yes, we ladies are a little lazy. I am lazy, by the way. So if I'm told, if you get to travel and you escape the hurdles of not cooking, just relaxing, I'll be the one to jump on that opportunity. So speaking out from my heart, so that is what happens when you go out, you relax. You actually spend some time with yourself as well as with your family when you are traveling with your family. You get more time, maybe you can talk something different, okay, and you can actually explore the destination in a different way, you know kind of a treasure hunt, or take up a map and look for different places and jot down your itinerary for the same. Then yes, exploring, that's it's a part of traveling. And yes, when you actually travel, you come across people who are very important to us, because we are social animals. And if we don't see people of if we don't see another human, we actually get depressed. Arey hum kahan aa gaye types. We will always have that kind of thing in our mind. But in only that is like sort of akela lane rehna is not something which we are looking at. We are also learning how to be humble, okay, how to help each other, okay. So there is a very good example of volunteering tourism, where we go to another place or another city, okay. Maybe we can just take up teaching to people who are underprivileged, okay. Or else, you can go to wildlife sanctuaries and also support or actually help the other people to take care of the animals around them. So that can also be one of the things which can be done. And yeah, being humble, which you learn when you travel. Yeah, there are a lot of travel stories which we can always put forward in front of you, okay. And also, yes, you also come across to your adventurous side of yours. So might as well, when you were small, you would like to go for a swing, okay, or a slide, or you would like to go for water sports or swimming. But what happens is when we grow up, we tend to get away from these kind of experiences every day. So travel helps you to get back to yourself, okay, explore your adventurous side and enjoy, which is like going across people and enjoying the site and the experience. Secondly, you start talking to strangers. Okay. So what happens is, I'll just tell you some an example. I'll give you when you are out of your country. Okay. Generally, when we meet each other, okay, or we just pass a stranger, you might not want to, even smile. Okay. But what happens is when you are outside the country, okay, and when you see there are a lot of people who might not know you, but at least they're looking at you, automatically you start smiling at them. So smiling is an exchange of gesture which is given from both the sides. And that's how you actually make friends and start talking to the strangers. Then yeah, you would like to also do some random things, okay, in which you must not have planned for yourself, but chalo aaj ye dinner karte hain, yeah, we explore some new dishes which are there at the local cuisine. So that is the kind of experience also you can plan for yourself, and which is like, you are always enthusiastic to explore more. So when you are out, you are out of your comfort zone and you are in a very enthusiastic mood and you would like to explore. So of course, travel helps you to change your mood also. So that's where I'm coming from. And yes, it also helps you to get rid of your fears. Now, if I give you an example of myself, we had been to Imagica with our friends, okay, and my sister too, we were there with. But what happens is, my sister was little more adventurous than me, okay, but she said, "Chalo, let's go on this particular slide," which was, I don't know what it is called, I forgot about that. But that slide, because she was getting onto it, I could make up my mindset. Yes, I can also do it. And I went towards that side. So it also helps you to curb your fears, okay, and be fearful. That is what we require. That is the kind of courage we require to go ahead with these kind of travel. Also, yes, we experience freedom. So when we go, we experience freedom, and we are free from our daily routine. We are free from something like, abhi ye kaam karna hai, abhi wo kaam nahi karna hai. So these kind of things are not there. So that helps you to relax. That helps you to get yourself together, and you are happy and mindful. So this is what travel does to you. So I hope this is an amazing experience what travel brings out in you. So this is what I have come for, okay. And any what we do is we take you to different places, okay. We help you to explore in a very different way, because as Mayura told you that I deal in customized packages. So what happens is, when you come to us with a requirement, okay, so we actually make the proper plan for you, for so that you experience the whole place and you get immersive experience. It's not that you're just going there, touching the place and come back, but it is more to experience the place like you want to. So this is from my side.
Yeah. Manisha, can you hear us? Okay. So Manisha, yeah, it's wonderful to know that you know what travel can do to one's life. Okay. I want you to also tell us, you know, especially the women, you know, who have, you know, never been outside, and you know they get this one opportunity, or you know when they want to explore things, you know, on their own. So you know there are these many big travel brands, you know, who have come up with women trips. And I'm sure that there is a lot of thought process which has gone behind it, that why only a women group should travel. Okay. So if you could tell us, or rather you could tell the audience, that when you are thinking for that first time travel, you know, of joining a women's group for long travels, you know, which are like overnight travels, which are like 3 or 4 days packages, what are the things which a woman should cautiously look into a package, you know? It can be about her safety, it can be about you know, going to a particular place, what to see, what not to see. So all these things which she has to do, you know, like a tick mark, before she decides to travel with a women group, or before she decides to travel solo.
Okay, that's actually a very good question for this forum. Okay, because when we think of travel as a woman, if I think of travel, the first thing comes in my mind is safety. Okay, but before safety, it has to be a courage. First thing, if you are having that courage of going out, only then you can look for a place, then you can look for a group, okay, and then you can look for your safety. Okay, so first thing is courage. Okay, second thing is, you the safety matters for us, right? So there are a lot of destinations who are women safe, first thing, because when we also go ahead, when we check, you know, India hai okay, we say, you know, Delhi is not safe. Majorly everybody, whoever thinks of India, first thing is Delhi safe. So people have their you know, mindset done like that. But yes, of course, there are lot of things which we have to take care, or not only safety as well. So, but when you talk about being safe, you have to first see who you are traveling with. Okay, the kind of background the company has. Okay, third thing, you should also know the destination, about the destination a little bit. Okay, so in case you are in trouble, who you should get to. Okay, any emergency numbers, you should actually have it with you. The hospital numbers, or you know, ambulance numbers, something, or these kind of things, you should have it in hand before you travel, right? So if you're traveling with, suppose, any of the companies for solo travel, these are the must needs, right? Third thing, when you talk about yeah, when you talk about going solo, okay, you should actually meet up with these people, okay, or at least try to communicate with the group you are getting into. So what will you come to know is, you will actually come to know what kind of people or a mix you have with you, right? So that also helps you to be comfortable, right? So if we are making if we are just creating a group, okay, so when then we know one person gets the information about the hospital, the other person gets the information about the you know, emergency contacts and all that. So everybody has something to take care of, right? But yeah, sometimes you don't even know that. That's where the company comes in the picture. So the company has all the details with them. So before you even book, you may make sure you get those details. Third thing, the kind of hotels they are taking you to. So when you get the itinerary, right? So you should always check up with the kind of hotels they are looking for. Is it a double occupancy? Is it a third star, a three-star hotel or a four-star hotel? Okay. What kind of environment in the hotel is that? City center बोल देते हैं, but it might not be a city center. So you should go to a TripAdvisor, look up to their reviews, and then go ahead and book. Okay. Third thing, you should always see how they are taking you for traveling, right? So either you are going by a train or either going by a bus, okay, or you're getting picked up in by a private car. So all these things really matter, right? Then numbers of the if there is a private car, you should have the number of the person driving you there, the driver number. Then if you are taken care by the bus, or the transfers are by the bus, so you should also have the vehicle number and everything, right? So that you can where and who to approach. Okay. Emergency contact should be there from the company also. So they might tell you, okay, hamara hai banda, he's waiting for you at the airport with a placard and all that. Fine, that is great. But एक और नंबर अपनी सेफ्टी के लिए you should always have. ठीक है. Secondly, pack well. When you're traveling, okay, one set of clothes should be in your hand baggage, and the other clothes should be in your luggage. Okay, that is quite important. Why? Because it is a possibility your luggage is lost. Okay, so what happens is if you have your travel kit and a set of clothes which is a change for you, you can still manage in case there is some unforeseen circumstances which come by, right? So these kind of things should be also there. And also, yeah, as I told you, reviews should be there. You can check with the people who have already been through them. So just try to get their references, try to get the experience, how it was, and then go ahead and book it. So these are the things you should go for and look forward for. This should be done when you're traveling with your family, and also should be done when you're traveling with some new people or a strange group which you have never met. So these things should be taken care of.
That's really a long list. So yes, but given the
It's true, Swati.
circumstances and given the conditions, you can never assume things when you are traveling. So it is always better to do some kind of self study or homework, which nowadays is very easy because you have to just it's like on your tip of the finger, through the search engines. And Manisha, one very nice point which you said is that that women should always when she's packing things or when she's doing her management of travel, she should always carry that one pair of extra clothes in the bag which is always with her. And I will tell you a superb experience. So what happened was, when I was traveling abroad to one of the destinations with one of a very nice travel company, of course. But what happened was that I wasn't aware that there is something like this coming up. And unfortunately, that extra pair of clothes was not in the travel bag. And so then the whole day, I mean, I had to carry my I had to be drenched in that water throughout the day, just because I was not carrying that extra pair of clothes with me. So this happened with many fellow travelers, because see, it's not like, the smallest of the instructions are always given by the companies, who are arranging this travel for you. So that was a real good insight, I can say. Now, there is one more question which I have, and actually, that's my curiosity. That one of the leading brands also in Maharashtra was started by a woman, a travel company which really today has made a very big mark in the industry. So it always, and now you are also on the path of the same kind of making a mark. What makes a woman feel that she should get into this industry? And are there any plus points which a woman has because she is leading this initiative or she's leading this industry? And what are the challenges as a woman to run a business in travel industry? That is what we would like to know from you.
Okay, Mayura, that is something which I would like to share. Okay, just to give you a background of myself, how I started my career into travel. I was never from a travel background, which I actually regret because whatever I could have done, I have done now, I could have done much before. Okay, so first thing is that being from the human resources background and also being into recruitments, and I was also into arranging for events. Okay, so that was my forte earlier. But when I thought of a second career after I had left my human resources as career, so I thought of getting into travel, which excited me at all a lot. Okay, because what happens is I said I love to see new places, so that is what was only that kind of an attraction. But when I studied, when I completed my PG, and when got into the real world, the real world was very different. Okay, so first challenge which comes to you is the kind of customers you get, the kind of clients you get, because every client is different. Okay, so for understanding of the client, okay, understanding the needs of the client, okay, and also competing in the live environment is something which is very difficult, and everybody goes through that. But that helps you to uh, you know uh, actually go through that, and so that you become strong in what you are looking at, what you are doing. So just to give you an idea, so if you are starting something into travel, okay, so look for specialization which will make your work easy. If you get into generalistic kind of package creation, you will not survive long. So you should be a specialist. So because aajkal ka zamana is something like who's a master, people come to the master, they will come to the expert out there. They will never want to go to someone who does everything and anything under the sun, right? So that's where that is what I learned in a hard way. So then, yes, I studied, I learned the destination so well, and I would like to actually highlight this success of mine is whenever I used to actually tell people about a destination called South Africa, they would actually ask me, madam aap kitni baar gaye ho South Africa? And till then I had never even been there for once. So that was my achievement. Why? Because I learned the destination in and out. I knew how the routes were to follow. Okay. And I didn't have to, send the person from one place to another without even not visiting the internal city. So that's what I also worked upon. And the way I explained was the person was really happy. They understood how to actually explore that particular country, which is really beautiful. So I that is how you become a specialist. Okay, and there you go, and then that is the time where you get proper clients. You understand their requirements, and then you close deals. So this is how you learn. But yes, I learned in a hard way. But yeah, whoever is inspiring to get into the travel industry is something you should be going for is being a specialist. So even if you want to go for a destination which is like Europe, okay, complete of Europe, or a USA, or New Zealand, Australia, or even India. India is the most complicated destination, let me tell you that. So if you are talking about a certain state, please learn about the state, go visit the state, and that's how you actually sell the destination.
Manisha, we have a small question from a viewer. If you can read it in the chat box, I will also read it for you. Otherwise, that many a times, travel companies put up reviews on their website, which are kind of paid reviews.
Hmm.
So paid positive reviews, and then what happens is many a time there is a misleading which happens. So
Right.
the person over here is asking us that how does a traveler know that which is a authenticate review?
See, the best way to understand is if you are talking to the travel company, okay, or if you are in touch with a travel company for a certain product, okay, so you can ask the travel company to give you some reference of their old clients who have already been through them to that particular destination. So if you're planning to go to Rajasthan and ask them to give you a reference from someone who has actually experienced Rajasthan through them. So that person will be the right and authenticate feedback which will come to you, and then you can take your decision whether they really like the place or not. Okay, that is one thing. Okay, secondly, yes, you should also, when they explain you about the destination, okay, as I just said, when you are talking to a person and the person gives you an in-depth knowledge about the destination, that's where you understand, yes, that person knows about the destination, or he is really very superficial. Okay, so when you know that when you interact with the travel agent and the person gives you right information, which you also can recheck, maybe going on a YouTube or reading about that destination, that's where also you can authenticate whether the person is giving you the right information or no. Okay, and yes, when they are asking, when you are asking for the itinerary and when they're giving you the complete plan, as I told you, check with them about what kind of transfers they are giving you, which is the kind of car they are giving you, being very specific, because yes, a lot of people say it's a it is a sedan or it is an SUV or whatever. So please try to ask them what exactly the car is. Okay, that's how you plan your luggage as well. Okay, because even if you get a sedan but it doesn't have a boot behind, so you are again stuck with all the luggages on your lap in the car, and you just have to travel that way. So please be very careful on that side, and just check with them what kind of car you are getting, so that you can plan your luggage according to that. Secondly, check for the hotels and check for the as I told you, TripAdvisor is a very good place to go and check the reviews for the hotels. So you can always check for that. And in itinerary, what are the specific places they have mentioned? Okay, so there are four places to be covered today. What are the four places, and what how much time is going to be given to you for that? So all these kind of things you please check. That's where you will come to know how authentic the person is. Otherwise, you might get fooled by some people like that.
Thanks, Manisha. I think so that has answered the question which the viewer has asked us. Manisha, one more thing. I wanted to ask you about was that I'm always excited when there is a office travel which is happening. So office travel, I mean to say, is for your professional work. There are many women who opt out of a job. Okay, so they refuse a very nice job offer or a lucrative career just because the job demands traveling. Okay, now I would like you to highlight to such women, that how traveling can actually be helpful to them. Okay, and yes, of course, I mean, the refusal of job offer by many women is for different personal reasons. When it comes to travel, I'm not referring to those kind of women, but women, who have inhibition for the job just because of the travel parameter. So how can we tell these kind of women that that how traveling is going to help them grow as a self and as a career too.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, yes, I know a lot of people, actually tend to say no to the opportunity which come their way because of traveling. And there are times where, you are given an opportunity to travel because it maybe just for 1 or 2 days, but because of a lot of circumstances at home, you are not able to, right? So, there might be a child, you have to take care of that. You can't leave your child alone, okay? Or there might be other responsibilities. But for that, I would want you to do is, so in case you can find some help, or if you can get some person to support you, so that's where you can actually go ahead with that. So don't say no to an opportunity, okay? So one thing is that. Secondly, as a person, as I told you, there's lots what happens when you go out of a particular place. Okay, so when you travel, that's where you when you meet another person. Okay, you get the information of that person. Of course, that's how we get on the mode of networking, right? So networking is the in thing. So your net worth is because of your network. Okay, so that's the real thing in the world today. So you miss out on that. And what happens is when you are not into that particular zone, there are a lot of opportunities which are there for you and you are not able to experience them or explore them, right? So what you should be, as I told you, look for a support first thing. And secondly, these are the things when you do, you grow, you learn. Each time you learn, each time you grow, and each time you explore your limits. So don't be confined to a place or a situation. Just go explore. That's where it develops you as a person. That is what I wanted to tell. It heals you. It makes you free. It something. It helps you to grow, and you are the person which you always want to become.
Manisha, now we will touch, the most important part of travel, and which will be like the ending part, but, the priority and the most important part. I want you to tell women that, uh, whenever I mean, even I have a group of nice six friends, who are together for last 30 years. And whenever I talk to them about, long travels, okay, maybe out of the country or something like that, it's the budget and the budget. So there are many homemakers, they take a step back, okay, when it comes to their travel spend, okay. And they say that, how do I save money separately for traveling, things are so expensive today. See, there are families who can have leisure travel, or, where the support system is so fantastic that the lady doesn't have to, plan of her travel separately. So keeping those families aside, there are many ladies, who want to travel, who want to go out, and then this budget part, really puts them down. Can you give us some tips where, you can advise the lady that even if she has to do one solo trip, or even if she has to do a one women group trip, how best can she plan her budget?
That's a wonderful question, and we all go through it. Even I am the one who thinks about it because money matters. Okay, so what happens is, as I told you, we require courage first thing. So courage comes before even we talk about the money. All right. So first, make your mindset clear where you want to go, okay, and how much you want to spend, right? And yes, if you come to people like us, okay, we play a very important role into planning of your travel. Of course, there is Google, there is YouTube, everywhere people can just get up, pick up their bags and go. But wahan kya karna hai jaake, nobody knows about it, okay, unless you have actually explored the place well, or read about the place, as I told you earlier. So when you come to us, that's where we ask you, we check with you what you want exactly. Okay. So if it is one person, or if it is like, there are other people. So what happens is, when you're talking about solo travel, to give you the real picture, solo travel is something which is, of course, the whole burden is on the person who's traveling solo, right? But there are other travel options, are like you are solo but you join to a group. Okay, so there, where what happens is, you get into a group, but your budget, if you're having a budget constraint, so there your budget is taken care of, because you are not actually just hiring the whole bus for yourself, or the whole car is for yourself, right? And also you're sharing even the accommodation. So if you're comfortable, that will very well work for you. Okay. Third thing, please be real. Okay. If you come and tell you, I'm talking about a lot of customers who come and tell me, मैडम हमको 20,000 में 4 दिन का ट्रिप करना है. मेरा 20,000 में 4 दिन का ट्रिप पॉसिबल नहीं है. महाराष्ट्र का महाराष्ट्र में ही हो सकता है, गोवा नहीं जा सकते. So be real, okay? So even if you're having some things in mind, first thing, plan in advance. So if you come to us real in advance, so we can plan according to the peak season, shoulder season, and the low season. Okay, so we can advise you. This is the time to go. This is where you will get. You have to just spend this much to get this much. Otherwise, not possible. So that's the reason I said be real, and be a planner who can do that real in advance. Okay, and the most important, if you are looking to go for some destinations, I'm telling you, and everybody knows, women are very good savers. Okay, so they know if they are allotted a budget. Okay, so that after spending so much, this is the amount remaining, and that's where you keep it aside for yourself. Okay, and when you save that much money, that's where you have your money in hand to go ahead and spend for yourself. So that's how you manage your finances. So yes, to revise again, go to a proper person who can help you, like a proper consultant, travel consultant. Plan in advance, save your money, which is most important, okay, and be realistic. So these are the 4 things I would like to just revise again.
Yeah, I mean, that's really very true. That what kind of budgets you have, and nowadays, because there are so many private consultants like Manisha, you really don't have to go for really expensive planners, or really expensive companies where maybe you might have a inhibition that I'm going for the first time, or I want a particular thing in a particular way. So people like Manisha are quite helpful in that case. So whenever you feel that you want to do some planning for travel, and why not? It can be even for your family. Okay, it necessarily not be that you're but there is some surprise which you want to give to your family. So you should have these kind of private consultants who will actually help you plan everything according to what your family needs, because I feel a woman always thinks that my son gets up at so much and so time, he needs that kind of a breakfast, my daughter needs this, my husband needs this. So she's more into that customization mindset when she's traveling even with the family. And of course, we Indians are known for it, that even when we travel abroad, we have this big packets carrying with us, the Indian breakfast, the Indian dry food, so nevertheless, but I feel it's very exciting that when a woman decides to travel on her own, you know and she decides to travel with a group, or she decides to do a solo trip, it is like a vital part of the entire schedule she is living throughout the year. So, at least once in a year, a woman has to move out of her geography. I'm not only saying move out of her house, but it is about moving out of the geography, experiencing different kind of cultures, people, you know, and then she literally absorbs that energy from there, and she comes back home rejuvenated, you know. And I really like some lovely gestures with some families have done it in the past, or some friends have done it in the past, you know, gifting the mother, gifting the wife, you know, a nice travel package on a woman's day, on her birthday, you know, when she wants to, maybe, you know, she wants to be alone, she wants to celebrate for herself, or she wants to celebrate with all the other women who are there, you know. And as Manisha rightly said, it is about seeing new faces. The local travels which you do, you know, might bring you similar faces over and over again. But when you move out of your geography, it is these faces who give you that confidence, you know. Because as she rightly said, that whenever you travel outside, you know, you generally smile at people, because you never know कि आपको कब किसकी मदद पड़ जाए. So that's the attitude also which you develop, you know, that when you are outside, it is always better to take help of the local people, understand things properly. Of course, I mean, there are many safety parameters also, but those small things which are there and, you know, available locally, it is the best the local guy can help you. So that is how the conversations and the networking which Manisha said. So even when you are building up any kind of a new business, you know, and when you are traveling outside, it is, yeah, I can tell you, I mean, it helps you so much, because when you have to expand your geographies for your business, this travel part is something which like I mean, it really helps you. So I feel that you know, many of these things which Manisha said to us should be pondered upon, and should be taken up very seriously by women. And as we all know that, you know, every mom, every woman, every working woman, every homemaker, she deserves a break. And you know, this has to be the travel break, because it is not only going to give her that happiness, but once she is happy, she will come home happy. And you know, she then has that capacity of multiplying that happiness with all her family. And that's how, you know, the relationships also you know, grow when you find the women in the family really happy. So, Manisha, thank you so much. It was a pleasure that, you know, you came on board and told us so much about traveling, and there are of course some serious attributes also to it. So, if you want to say something, Manisha, please do say.
Yeah, very well summed up, Mayura. You actually told the right thing. Yes, all of us need a break. Not only women, even for men and the children, everybody needs a break and needs to experience the world. Just to give you, I know I just had a video which was sent to me, and it was said so beautifully. If you are just sitting at home, you are actually killing yourself, because we are not someone who is made for homes. We were always out of the house. Okay, we never had shade on our head when we came in existence. So the world was there for us, and we were like the nature. The sky is our shelter. Okay, so we are the beings. You should always be out. We are explorers. Humans are explorers. They want to explore, and they will never stop. Okay, so that's one thing which we will not be able to do that. मतलब stop अपने आप को कर सकते हैं. Third thing, language is never a barrier. So even if you're going to Tamil Nadu and if you don't know the language, maybe you don't even know the English that time, okay? But language is never a barrier. To give you an example of it is, my son was just 3 years old. Okay, he couldn't speak a proper word also that well. Mummy, papa, okay, of course, but he was so comfortable with a couple who was Argentinian. Okay, and that's what made me understand that language is never a barrier. They were interacting with each other very well, but I always had a mindset of mine saying that if I don't know their language, I will not be able to talk to them. So language is never a barrier. Everybody understands. We are humans, of course. So we can communicate in any way we want. Okay. And yes, आपने डॉक्टर से भी सुना होगा, आप अपना आबो हवा चेंज कीजिए, आप अपने आप ठीक हो जाओगे. So that's again an example of you that you should never stop traveling. Even if it is just for a day, take a break and be with your family, or just take a me time out. So that's where travel comes in the picture. And yes, you get rejuvenated and you're back, you are healed, and you are back with more power and energy. So thank you so much for getting me here, Mayura. It is a wonderful platform, Banyan Minds, and you come up with wonderful ideas. And just to give you a background, we also have our heritage story trails, which we explore the history and the geography of our country. And yes, we will not stop here. We will go beyond that as well. I'm very sure of that. So that's what we do. So please connect with us, and we have our all the contact details out here. So if you want, I can give you my number as well. So it's 9820613858. So I'll be happy to connect with you, and yes, we all can travel together as well. So thank you, Mayura, for the wonderful opportunity.
Wishing you good luck, Manisha, for all your future endeavors, and we wish that Relive also grows in this industry and will help more people travel and explore. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayura. And yes, audience, just wanted to tell you we are working on a project together, and which we will soon come in front of you with that. So stay tuned. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.